Today is Thursday, September 25th, 2025. It's a very rainy day in Boston. It's approximately 10:08 a.m. This is a convening of the Massachusetts Gaming Commission, meeting number 565. I'm Jordan Maynard. I serve as chair. We're hosting this meeting virtually, so we will do a roll call. Good morning, Commissioner O'Brien.
Good morning, I'm here.
Good morning, Commissioner Hill.
Good morning, I'm here.
And good morning, Commissioner Broder.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. I am here.
All right. And Commissioner Skinner will not be available today. With that, we're going to turn it over to item number 2, which is Secretary Broder. I think we have some various sets of minutes stretching back from 2024 to 2025.
That is correct. So I will, in 2 tranches, I will start with the first 4. Mr. Chairman, I move the commission approve the minutes from the following public meetings, subject to necessary edits for typographical errors or other non-material matters. And those dates are March 14th, 2024, April 11th, 2024, June 20th, 2024, and August 1st, 2024.
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner O'Brien.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Broder.
Abstain.
And I vote yes. 3 and 1 abstention.
And Mr. Chairman, I now move that the commission approve the minutes from the September 4th, 2025 public meeting, subject to any necessary edits for typographical errors or other non-material matters.
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner O'Brien.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Broder.
Yes.
And I vote yes, 4-0. Thank you again, Secretary Broder. Thank you to the legal team for all your hard work. And we're going to turn it over to item number 3. And for that, Executive Director Serpa, good morning.
Good morning, Chair, and thank you very much. And good morning, Commissioners. We do have one update this morning. We're going to receive a brief casino gaming update from the Gaming Agents Division. We'll have some information about our FY25 DOR intercepts and other expiring monies, and a recap of the number of installed slot and table games at the properties. And for that, I'll just turn it right over to Chief of the Gaming Agents Division, Burke King. Go ahead, Burke.
Thank you, Dean. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. Joining me today is Natalia Villarreal, our acting casino regulatory manager at MGM. And she's going to go over, as Dean said, some department revenue numbers, other expiring monies, and some of the numbers with the slots and table games. Also in our bullpen with any questions will be Louis Lozano, our casino regulatory manager at Encore, and Marty Edwards, our assistant casino regulatory manager at Encore. And with that, I'll turn it over to Natalia.
Thank you, Burke. I'll share my screen. And good morning, Chair, and good morning, Commissioners. This presentation can be found on page 68 of your meeting packet for reference. So as Burke said, I'd like to start off just reviewing some numbers reported by the properties for fiscal year 2025. So first, to touch on the Department of Revenue intercepts. Before paying out any winnings for any taxable jackpots over $1,200 or more, it is required that the casinos verify with the Massachusetts Department of Revenue whether a patron has any outstanding child support obligations or past due tax liabilities. And if after a DOR check is performed, and that is the case, the casinos are then required to intercept that amount up to the amount of the winnings, and such amounts are then remitted back to the Department of Revenue. So between the 3 licensees, a total of $3.9 million was collected via DOR intercepts between July of 2024 and June of 2025. We also see here expired vouchers and jackpots, which are any funds that are not collected within 1 year of that gaming transaction, which are then deposited into the Gaming Revenue Fund. We also have funds forfeited from underage individuals, totaling just over $1,800 for the year. And lastly, charitable contributions between the 3 licensees totaling $324,000. And to compare the numbers between 2024 and 2025, DOR intercepts we can see increased by about 1%. And most notably, we have the underage forfeited numbers decreasing by about 80% since last year. We also wanted to give an update on the number of games at the 3 licensees. So as of July of 2025, we have a total of 5,212 slot machines between the 3 properties, also 220 table games, 39 poker games, 78 stadium games, and 65 sports wagering kiosks. And lastly, just to give a breakdown of just the slot machines at each property, our numbers have remained pretty steady, hovering just about 5,200 slot machines from July of 2022 through our current numbers in July of 2025. Does anyone have any questions for us?
I don't think so, commissioners.
Excellent review. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Have you presented before, Natalia?
I presented last year for a meeting.
I know it's been a while, so welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hope everything's going well out there.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else, Executive Director Serpa? Director
That's
King?
it for the executive update. I just want to make sure I remind all the commissioners that Natalia is currently our acting CRM out at MGM. She's been in that role for about 3 weeks now, and by all reports, unsurprisingly, she's doing a terrific job. So thank you for taking that over, Natalia.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner.
Natalia is the best. Love working with her. I'm sorry we don't get out as much as we should out to Springfield to say, more hellos to you, but you're doing a great job out there, and thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill.
I agree. Double click on that one. All right. Anything else? All right. Well, thank you, Burke. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you, Natalia. All the rest of the IEB team that keeps everyone working at the properties.
One last second, thank you to all the gaming agents for their 24/7 coverage. All these numbers are reviewed, compiled, and all the regs are watched 24/7 out of the casinos. So big shout out to them too. Thank you.
It's a good reminder, all the hard work they do to make sure that everyone is safe in the Commonwealth. All right. With that, we're going to turn it over to item number 4. Good morning, Dr. Lightbound.
And good morning, Chair and Commissioners. Our racing item today is the request by the Standardbred owners of Massachusetts to be recognized as a representative Standardbred breeders group. This is per Mass General Law 128, Section 2J. And today I have Nancy Longabody, the treasurer and secretary of the group. She's got a video that she'll show, and I'll turn it over to Nancy now to give her presentation. Nancy?
Good morning, Nancy.
Did I get my,
Oh, we got you.
do you have me now?
Yes. Any new fouls? Fouls the right word?
Foals.
Foals.
That's okay. Close enough. That's okay. A
Wrong
lot of people
emphasis
call
on the
them
wrong
ponies.
squabble.
So you did well. Earlier in the year, we had 2, but not now. Till the spring, we'll have some more, but we did have 2 born earlier on. So, and they're doing great. So everything is so far so good. So I just wanted to thank the commissioners and Dr. Lightbaum for taking the time for our approval this morning. Our 2024 season was very good. We gave away over 3 million in purses. We anticipate to do that this year as well. We had multiple races in some of the divisions last year, which kind of points to the growth of the program. More horses involved, which is great. And also many stake records were set, which kind of points to the quality of the breeding now, which is also which is also a good thing. The horses go on to, continue racing or sold, after the 2 and 3 year old, and you see them continuing on in their career. So that's a good thing. My video that I've prepared, and Commissioner O'Brien kind of pushed me along on that a little bit. So that's good. Thank you. We wanted to do that anyway. The message for that really is what we were kind of focused on, is the long-term investment for the breeders. Myself and all of the other breeders have been doing it for years. It's not a quick turnover. It's 4 years. It's a long haul. There's nothing like it when you do well, but like anything, it's kind of heartbreak when it doesn't. But I hope you enjoy it, and obviously any questions or comments afterwards. So if they could play the video now, that'd be great. Oh, there we go.
We're getting it up.
Okay.
When Royalty for Life, a 3-year-old Massachusetts bred trotter, won the $1 million Hambletonian at the Meadowlands in 2013, the harness racing universe became aware that a standard bred, born and raised in Western Massachusetts, could win at the highest level of the sport.
And 3 in the stretch of the Hambletonian final for $1 million. Royalty for Life getting away now. And he leaves Spider Blue Chip in his wake along with Smilin' Eli and Corky on the rail. Royalty is king of the Hambletonian. Brian Sayers, Royalty for Life. Smilin' Eli, Corky third.
Since then, the popularity of the Massachusetts Standardbred breeding program has skyrocketed to new and impressive levels. Resident broodmares registering in the program have steadily increased year over year. This chart shows the increase in breeding activity in the Commonwealth. The uniqueness of the program is one of the drivers of its success. The most respected stallions across the country can be booked to breed any standardbred mare when the broodmare is nominated to the program and fulfills the residency requirements. The resulting offspring becomes a Massachusetts Breeder Stakes eligible racehorse. This starts with broodmare owners searching for a compatible match for the mares from the Stallion Showcase provided by the United States Trotting Association. Stud fees range from a modest few $1,000s to tens of thousands. Some of the notable sires that have offspring in the program are Woolner, World Champion and 2-year-old Trotting Colt of the Year in 2016, standing with a $50,000 stud fee. Chapter 7, World Champion and Hall of Famer, standing for $40,000. Sweet Lou, a winner of $3.5 million with a lifetime mark of 147, standing for a fee of $25,000. And Perfect Sting, 2- and 3-year-old pacing Colt of the Year in 2020 and 2021, with a service fee of $10,000. This process starts 4 years before an eligible colt or filly would be old enough to compete in a breeder stake event, and that is if all things go right.
From the day you decide, I want to breed a horse, between buying a broodmare and then picking which stallion you want to breed it to, getting her in foal, waiting a year, foaling her, and then waiting another year, it's a 3-year commitment. And sometimes it goes awesome, and sometimes not so much.
The breeder commits to a gestation period of 11 months, foaling and raising a weanling for the next 9 months, raising the yearling for the next 12 months, and then training the 2-year-old to race for the following 10 months. Being a standardbred breeder is a commitment. It's risky, it's expensive, and it's one of the most exciting things to experience when that 4-year commitment pays off. 8 divisions of breeder stake races compete each fall, with 3 preliminary legs and a final for divisional championships. 4 divisions for each age group of 2- and 3-year-olds, which are split by sex, filly and colt, and by gait, trot, and pace. In 2024, over $3 million in breeder stakes purses were paid to standardbred breeders and horse owners. and new stake speed records have been recorded in all divisions in the past several years. Breeders can invest with confidence as the future remains bright for the breeders who participate in the program. The quality of the breed in Massachusetts is improving with each and every season. The mission of the Standard Bred Owners of Massachusetts to foster and grow the standard bred breed is on track as well.
Thank you, Nancy.
You're welcome.
Questions, comments, commissioners? Commissioner O'Brien?
Yeah, I loved it. I love the last one you had too. I think they're great. Obviously being able to see your facilities, your horses, your animals, how lovingly they're taken care of, how beautiful they are. I also think that video shows the commitment that's required. And it contributes to the diversity of the economy in Massachusetts and those opportunities. I think it's great. I think it's great you have a new video too.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you. It came out really nice.
Yeah.
We're really happy with it. Thank you.
I agree. Like both videos. And it's amazing what the industry does here in Massachusetts. Any other comments, questions?
So the only other question I have, I guess, for Nancy and Alex too, is I don't know where that video is accessible. Like, is that something that you could reach through our website when you're looking up any information, both the original one that you had showed us, Nancy, and then the current iteration?
This is the first time I haven't done anything with it except for you today.
Yeah.
So,
And how about the earlier one that you had that was with the aerial shots and
probably the first one?
Yeah.
The first one was a really good one as well. The
Yeah.
original one that we did, yes. That one we had that up on our website for the longest time, the first one, and this one, that's what we can do, and we could put it, I can put it wherever you.
Well, I'm just wondering, maybe we link, there's a link over to them. I don't know. This a question.
Commissioner, sorry to interrupt. Nancy, Connor and I will
Yes.
work with you to make sure we have both those videos, and we can make
Okay.
sure that they're up on the Mass Gaming Commission website
Sure.
and our YouTube channel as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You bet.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah, happy to link up.
Thank
on
you.
that.
Great.
Yeah.
So everybody can see.
Commissioner Hill, I see your mute is off.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I don't have any comments or questions, but I'm ready to make a motion if the board is ready.
I'm just always amazed by how quickly this time comes every year where we have to re-up this.
I
know
am
it.
as well, yes. Time goes by so fast. I know.
This is my
Oh.
fourth. Yeah. Commissioner Hill,
So with that said, Mr. Chairman, I move that the commission approve the request of the Standard Bred Owners of Massachusetts, Inc. to be recognized as the group of representative standard bred breeders to administer the Massachusetts Standard Bred Breeding Program and the sire stake races for 2025 as included in the commissioner's packet and discussed here today.
Second,
Commissioner O'Brien,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Broder,
yes.
and I vote yes 4-0. We'll get Paul down there as soon as we can. Nancy,
Okay.
see that amazing facility you and your family have built.
Oh, thank you so much.
Great spot.
We would love it again. Thank you. Yes, and hopefully you could make it out to some of the races. I know you try, or at least the finals, which we've got a little bit of time for that. But the first races will be on Monday. They're actually the first one is this Monday. They're doing that today, so I'll be heading over there shortly for that. So see how that goes. So I think so far so good. So we're looking forward to it.
A little bit rainy.
It is. It is. Well, we needed the rain though. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Lightbound.
Very
anything
welcome.
else? Anything else?
I would just like to say that Nancy and that whole organization is very cooperative. We do some extra testing that they've requested, and everybody, it's a pleasure for our team to work with their team. Everybody's very cooperative about the timing involved and all that. So I just wanted to mention that, and a shout out to our staff because they will be doing extra testing during those races. So they'll be doing some extra work too. So thank you.
Thank you, and we appreciate their extra work, because I know it can be, it's kind of a lot for them, but, so we do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you both, and thank you to the team. That's a good reminder, Dr. Martell. All right. With that, I believe we're going to turn it over to item number 5.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You as well. Thank you.
Stay dry.
I'll try.
We're going to go over to Carrie Teresi, who's the Division Chief of Sports Wagering. I believe that Commissioner Hill had asked for a conversation around quarterly reports.
Yes, good morning, Chair and Commissioners. So as you said, Commissioner Hill asked the Sports Wagering Division to take a look at possible options for ways in which we might change how the quarterly report presentations are done, whether that's shifting them to a biannual cadence, breaking them down into, or keeping them in a quarterly cadence, but sort of breaking down what's presented at each quarter to streamline the process a bit. So there is a memo in your packet at page 79 that lays out some possibilities. This isn't all inclusive. These are just some ideas that we had, but we can, of course, change this process to make it whatever you'd like it to be. So I'll sort of leave it to you all to discuss what you'd like.
Thank you, Carrie. Commissioner Hill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Carrie, and through you to your department for discussing this with me. But now we're before the commission, and I thought it was a discussion that we could just have briefly about how we are doing our quarterly reports. Well, you know me, and I'll tell it like I think it is. They become a little bit stale because of the repetition that we get, quarter after quarter after quarter after quarter. So I thought maybe it would behoove us to take a quick look at the quarterly reports and just discuss, do we need to do these every 3 months? Could we do them every 6 months? But if we did want to keep them every quarterly, could we maybe change up what we hear quarterly so that we don't see, have a repetitive view? Much of the information we get is the same as 3 months before. So with that, I wonder if we really need to. There really isn't typically a lot of changes quarter to quarter. So that's why I thought maybe it would be more effective to switch to every 6 months. But if the majority of the commission wants to keep them quarterly, maybe we could still only address certain areas, as Carrie said, every 6 months or once per year, particularly those areas where there's not much change quarter to quarter. If the majority would like to shift to a biannual report, we could either have the operators report on all items at each presentation or split the items up so that you hear some things twice per year and some things once per year. And as Carrie mentioned, and it's in our packet, she decided that maybe we could add some new items to our presentations that we don't currently report on now that might be helpful to hear about. For example, monthly unique players, a monthly amount wagered, newly implemented technologies, partnerships, integrations, or significant platform changes. And of course, comparisons of year-end review against applications, target, and goals, just to name a few. So that's why, Mr. Chairman, and through you to the commission, I brought this issue up just so that we can maybe change it up a little bit.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill, and we appreciate that. Commissioner Broder.
Briefly, just to get things going, or a few 60,000 foot level thoughts is, I want to thank Commissioner Hill for bringing this forward, because I think it is a terrific idea. I agree wholeheartedly. I would say I don't want to disparage any of the efforts any of the operators make, but I would hold up the Penn report perhaps as the example for what is the most kind of direct and efficient report that we get. I don't really have a strong feeling on frequency, but I do very much like the idea of kind of ending the redundancy, perhaps picking a particular item or subset of items for a quarterly report and not having to do the full-on everything you could possibly think of all at once in every report. So and some of the items that Ms. Teresi suggested as possible swap outs or new areas of focus, I think that's terrific. I don't have my heart set on any particular one, but that kind of variation on what we're looking at, other than the hard numbers. We always want the revenue reports. I'm not sure they need to be delivered orally every time, but some of that data around about taxes, revenue, and employment are the core of it, because that's what the statute talks about. So I'd love to hear what my colleagues are thinking about what might be some good ways to change this up a bit.
Thank you, Commissioner Broder. Commissioner O'Brien, what are you thinking?
So I agree with Commissioner Hill in terms of the slog that can sometimes be the day when these are all on together. I like the idea of either toggling presentations and or topics. My only hesitation with it wouldn't be bringing them in more frequently, which I like. There have been some conversation about bringing them up and then having them maybe come in for shorter stints. I think asking them to come away from their regular day to come to us might be a little too much to ask. They've got their regular jobs to do. I do think there are certain things we should continue hearing on a consistent basis. Revenue, KYC, underage compliance being the two most obvious to me. The only question I would have would be RG, whether there's anything else that we'd want to see every quarter, right? And I don't, this may be more a Mark question and a Carrie question than a commissioner question, whether there's any other way beside VSC usage or play management tools. Maybe not, maybe it's fine to get them just twice a year, but I do like the idea of streamlining. I do think the people that get to the end of the list kind of get short shrift by the time we get to the end of the day. I don't think, and that's fair for either us or them. So if there's a way to tighten it up or stagger it, I'm all in.
Mr. Chairman?
Can I have an idea, Commissioner Hill?
Of course.
I'm reminded of Kathy Judd Stein told me once. She said, everyone thinks you're a game show host when you're doing this position. You got to throw your ideas in at some point. If I was one, I would want to be Steve Harvey, just for the record. I'm perfectly fine. I think you're hearing across the board agreement on we need to update these, right? And they are getting a little stale, Commissioner Hill. That's the perfect word for it. And there's times, and I hear Commissioner O'Brien say this, and that's where I am too, where we both want to make sure that we're meeting with them, right? That's part of it, just making sure that they're in front of us, we're in front of them, we know each other. When there's an issue that pops, we have that opportunity. So what I would say is, especially with Commissioner Skinner being unavailable today, because I'd want to also have her be able to weigh in on something as big as changing frequency and meeting with operators. I agree with the spirit of what we're trying to do here. Whether we do that as taking certain things every quarter, moving it to 6 months and doing everything, I'm open to ideas. So I would actually ask that Director Teresi go through and kind of make a good recommendation. Commissioner Hill, now.
You and I are thinking the same. I was wondering process-wise, as we do our agenda setting in public, can we go to Carrie with suggestions of what we would like to see on the upcoming report? Are we allowed to do that with the open meeting law and all that good stuff? And leaving it up to her, to come up with a proposal of what the quarterly update would be forthcoming, each one coming up.
we'll call them the updates. I think, Carrie, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think you and Dean can get together and obviously meet up with Commissioner Skinner, take this feedback, and then come up with a proposal that we can put on at a agenda setting.
Are you saying a proposal for what the upcoming quarterly report would look like and kind of take it each time?
Yes.
Well, I was thinking you'll come up with a suggestion, just how you want us to move forward, given this feedback.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah, we can. We'll take the feedback we got from everybody today, check with Commissioner Skinner, and come with a condensed recommendation for ongoing reports over the course of a year. Yep. Right, Gary?
Yep, that sounds great.
I'll second Commissioner Broder too, that some of them are a little more succinct and to the point than others. Everybody on this screen remembers infomercials late at night. Some of them feel a little like the set it and forget it infomercial. So we need to be just a little more streamlined. All right.
Mr. Chairman, I think one question we didn't answer, if it was up to me, I would do these every 6 months and not every 3 months. And I'm not sure I heard from the board what they feel about 6 months compared to every 3 months. But I'll start the conversation by saying I would prefer that these be done every 6 months instead of every quarter. I don't know how everybody else feels about that.
I would let Chief Teresi and Dean kind of give me some suggestions. That's how I would go. Commissioner O'Brien, Commissioner Broder, what are we thinking?
Yeah, that works. I mean, that certainly works for me. I mean, there's two pieces to it, like some of the data can be provided on a quarterly basis. That doesn't mean folks have to come before us. Right. We can get that data and review it at some point. You know, there's some cadence though that the live interaction matters. I would be comfortable with actual meeting appearances on a 6-month basis, but would most like, to hear from, staff about things that we might be missing if we go to a particular cadence of frequency. And that's that.
We could do 3 times a year too. I was thinking every 4 months instead of every 3. Commissioner O'Brien?
Yeah, either is fine with me. Either they submit documentation to sports wagering quarterly and we hear from them twice a year, or maybe it's a cadence of every 4 months instead. Might be easier to keep the cadence of quarterlies and then meet every 6, but.
We're kicking it back to you, Chief Teresi.
Yeah, thank you for the feedback. I'll work with Dean and we can come back. You're thinking we would come back at an agenda setting when we're prepared to add maybe the next quarterly and talk about what we would do then. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you for all that you do. And thank you for the operators for always getting that information to us. We appreciate it. Anything else on this issue, commissioners? I know we brought it up. Commissioner Hill.
Just a thank you to everybody for letting this come before us for consideration.
Thank you. All right, with that, we're going to turn it over to item number 6, and we have a few different regulations coming before us. We'll turn to the interim GC, Councilor Stempe.
Good morning, Chair and Commissioners. Can everybody hear me? Okay, great. Yeah, we have several regulations coming back before you today. I have the lead off here with Regulation 205 CMR 23907. As the Commission likely recalls, we brought this before the 5 of you back in July. This regulation addresses discretion with respect to sports wagering audits. It provides discretion to the Commission, including the sports wagering division, on how and what to audit in those, how many of the operators to audit and what to audit. It was approved at that initial meeting for final initial promulgation, and we're bringing it back here today for final promulgation. So in the packet, starting at page 81, there's a memo, and then there's the regulation just showing the red line. This is all seen before and voted on before. So we're just here today for a final vote to continue promulgation. There was a public meeting. There were no comments made by anybody on this. So I think that's pretty much everything for the four of you to consider here today.
All right. Questions, commissioners?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Hill.
I move that the commission approve the amended small business impact statement in the draft of 205 CMR 239.07 as included in the commissioner's packet and discussed here today. And further, that staff be authorized to take the steps necessary to file the required documentation with the Secretary of the Commonwealth to finalize the regulation promulgation process.
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner O'Brien.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Broder.
Yes.
And I vote yes. 4-0.
Thank you. I'll now turn it over to Judy Young for her set of regulations.
Thanks, Justin. Good morning, Chair and Commissioners. Beginning on page 89 of your packets, the Legal Division, in conjunction with the Division of Racing, is bringing back 205 CMR 3, specifically sections 11 and 14 for your final review and authorization. As you would recall, the divisions recommended removal of the word obnoxiousness from sections of the regulation and insertion and use of the word unbecoming to mirror conduct standards in other racing jurisdictions. The regulation was initially authorized for promulgation by the Commission on July 31st and has made its way through the promulgation cycle. A public hearing was held on September 9th, and the Commission did not receive public comments on this regulation. In accordance with the requirements of 128A, Section 9B, this regulation is required to be filed with the Clerk of the House and Senate for 60 days prior to us finalizing it and filing with the Secretary's office. So the divisions are seeking dual authorization from you today, the first for the regulation to be filed with House and Senate, and then ultimately to be sent to the legislature thereafter. So in lieu of these requirements, you'll note that my amended small business impact statement is unsigned and dated with today, but ultimately I will change the date and apply my signature onto it before filing with the Secretary's office. But it was a little bit of cart and horse. I didn't want to post date something and sign something for the future. So today it has the vote that the Commission would ultimately vote on it, but ultimately in December, we would use the date that we filed it with the Secretary's office. So just a little note there in terms of technicality for you all. So ultimately, this regulation will become effective on December 19th, after the close of the current racing season and prior to the start of the 2026 racing season. So with that, happy to answer any questions that you may have for me today, and thanks for giving me the time.
Thank you, Councilor Young. Questions? I will say that I will now tell everyone that calls me obnoxious that I am unbecoming. All right. Commissioner Broder, your mute's off.
Oh, sorry about that.
That actually was very funny.
I like how you said actually. Like it was a
like he's
surprise.
surprised. Like he's surprised. I did my first stand-up bit last weekend, Commissioner Hill. I'll tell you it went well. All right. Do we have a motion?
This is what, 311 and 314, correct?
Yep.
I move that the Commission approve the amended small business impact statement and draft of 205 CMR 3.11 as included in the Commissioner's packet and discussed here today. And further, that staff be authorized to take the steps necessary to file the required documentation with the legislature and thereafter with the Secretary of the Commonwealth to finalize the regulation promulgation process. I move similarly that the Commission approve the amended small business impact statement and draft of 205 CMR 3.14 as included in the Commissioner's packet and discussed here today. And further, that staff be authorized to take the steps necessary to file the required documentation with the legislature and thereafter with the Secretary of the Commonwealth to finalize the regulation promulgation process.
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner O'Brien,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Broder,
Yes.
and I vote yes, 4-0.
Thanks very
Thank you,
much,
Counselor.
commissioners. And I will turn it over to Autumn for our next regulation.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Today I'm here to bring back 205 CMR 248 subsection 12. This was regarding withdrawals from accounts. Essentially, the change is that when a customer requests that their withdrawal from their account, that those funds be frozen until the withdrawal is fully processed. It was initially before the commission on July 31st. It went through the promulgation process since then, and we had a public hearing for comments on September 9th. We received no public comments, and there have been no changes since it was initially presented in July. I'm here today to request a final vote for authorization.
Thank you. Commissioners, questions? Thank you for spearheading that one. Do we have a motion on 248-12?
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Broder.
Let's see. I think I got it right here. I move that the commission approve the amended small business. Wait a minute, do I have the right order here? Yes. I move the commission approve the amended small business impact statement and draft of 205 CMR 248.12 as included in the commissioner's packet and discussed here today. And further, that staff be authorized to take the steps necessary to file the required documentation with the Secretary of the Commonwealth to finalize the regulation promulgation process.
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner O'Brien,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Broder,
Yes.
and I vote yes, 4-0. All right. Anything else, Counselor Stempeck?
That is it from legal this morning, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So now we're going to go over to research and responsible gaming. For that, we'll kick it over to Director Mark Vanderlinden. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. Yes, today I am joined with Long Dan, and we're going to provide an update on the voluntary self-exclusion program. Just as a reminder of the Expanded Gaming Act, and then followed by the Act to Regulate Sports Wagering, requires the Gaming Commission to establish a statewide program that allows people to voluntarily exclude themselves from casino gambling, sports wagering, or both for a predetermined amount of time. Today, we'll provide a general overview of the program. There were specific questions regarding the enrollment process. And so Long actually will walk us through the enrollment form and provide additional detail on that. But we'll also talk about the reinstatement process, training for designated agents, information about enrollments and reinstatements, violations, and evaluation that has been complete, as well as the evaluation that is forthcoming. So I'm going to share my screen. Is that showing up for you?
We have it.
Great. So the voluntary self-exclusion program allows an individual to be excluded from casinos, sports wagering, or both for a predetermined amount of time. Those terms are 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. Individuals are allowed to enroll for a lifetime. However, they need to complete at least 6 months of one term before they would be allowed to enroll for a lifetime. It should be noted that an individual would stay on the list for until the point in time that their duration is completed and a reinstatement session has also been completed. We talk a lot about excluding themselves from being able to place a wager on a sports wagering app or gambling, but there's other pieces to this as well. It should be noted that individuals who enroll in the program also forfeit rewards points. They're removed from marketing lists. In terms of casinos, they're prohibited from entering the gaming area. The program exists to help people control their gambling for any number of reasons. Certainly, top of that list are individuals who have difficulty controlling their gambling, but there may be other reasons that persons would enroll in the list as well. We want to acknowledge that. I like to say that it's an external control that people choose to enroll in because they lack the internal controls in order to control the gambling over a period of time. So this is truly there to assist them managing gambling. It's an agreement between the individuals, the MGC, and all licensed operators. Each one plays an important role in this. The MGC in administering and overseeing the program, licensed operators for enforcing it at their operations, and the individual for agreeing that they will refrain from entering the gaming area or the gaming establishment. There are two ways to enroll in the program. There is remote enrollment that began in 2021. Long will cover that here in just a minute. Basically, that's initiated via live chat on gamesensema.com or through the GAM line 800-426-1234. The actual enrollment then takes place over a Zoom, secured Zoom platform. Since the beginning, enrollment has been offered through any of the GameSense information centers at any of the Massachusetts casinos with a GameSense advisor. Just to call out the rules that govern this are 205 CMR 133, which covers the voluntary self-exclusion program at Massachusetts casinos or gaming establishments, and 205 CMR 233, which establishes rules to self-exclude from sports wagering. Just a brief note on the MGC approach. We want to recognize, and we have done so from the beginning, that this is more than an administrative function that needs to be carried out. We want to recognize the courage that it takes to step forward and say that I recognize that a problem exists and I want to take a step to address that. So anybody who steps forward to enroll in the program should be responded to in a respectful, timely, and discreet manner, and feel supported through the entire process. You'll see that is really important to us, both in terms of the training, the designated agents, and attention paid to it to assure that it's being carried out through various evaluations. So to that end, talking a little bit about the designated agents, 205 CMR 133, the VSC regulation requires that only designated agents as determined by the Gaming Commission can carry out or conduct a voluntary self-exclusion enrollment and reinstatement session. For the commission, we have those designated agents are GameSense advisors. Just to highlight the extensive training that these GameSense advisors have, both in terms of being a designated agent, but also just generally. As designated agents, they receive specific training on conducting and completing voluntary self-exclusions with an additional 2 hours of observation before conducting an independent voluntary self-exclusion session. Some of this specific training obviously is that administrative piece, obviously is assuring that they're following through with our approach to conducting voluntary self-exclusion or carrying out the voluntary self-exclusion program. They do role play, they do test sessions. There's a variety of different ways in which these designated agents get the training they need before they would actually do a voluntary self-exclusion enrollment. Beyond that, any GameSense advisor receives 10 full days of training with a curriculum that includes responsible gaming, positive play, player health, problem gambling, trauma-informed care, and so on. That is upfront, and then that's followed by 10 additional days of training shadowing colleagues at GameSense information centers around the state. The training doesn't stop there for GameSense advisors. There's a variety of different types of training that they receive ongoing. To list just a few that I think are relevant to them being able to do their job. One is on motivational interviewing, basically understanding where people are, meeting them where they're at, and providing relevant information, as well as mental health first aid. I'm going to turn it over to Long right now to walk through the application. Before I do, I do want to point out that the enrollment form itself, translators are available to be able to provide this in Arabic, Portuguese, Spanish, simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, and Vietnamese. And then actually from there, I'm just going to turn it over to Long, and I will control the walkthrough of the form itself. So I hope that goes well. So Long, do you want to take it from here?
Thank you, Director Vanderland. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm going to walk through the VSE. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to walk through the enrollment form, the VSE enrollment form. To start off, the VSE enrollment form mirrors the 205 CMR 133, the VSE regulations, and 205 CMR 233, the sports wagering VSE. It's important to note that the very top of the form indicate the type of VSE. So this form I'm going to walk you through is for gaming and sports wagering. So if a patron opts to just VSE for gaming, the form will have the terms, which I will walk through, specifying the gaming restrictions, and then sports wagering likewise. But this one here, this form combines both. So the form, when I go through the terms, is going to combine both gaming and sports wagering. So I just want to put that disclosure first. Right underneath section 1, we start this requesting the patron or the applicant requesting to VSE really outlines the section 4 of the regulations. We offer, like Director Vanderlinden mentioned, we offer 1, 3, and 5 years. Lifetime is an option only if they have previously enrolled. Hence that box at the very bottom, have they previously enrolled? If that is checked no, lifetime would not be an option. Section 2 and 3 of the VSE enrollment form are information outlined in section 3.1 of the regulations, which includes the name, home address, email address, or telephone number, date of birth, and last 4 social security number. I just want to note that with sports wagering, it requires both email and telephone, but with gaming, it only requires one or the other. This is important because on the form, you see that these items have an asterisk, denoting to the designated agent that these are mandatory fields that needs to be completed. The bottom of the page, a passport style picture is required as outlined in section 3.2 of the regulations. A government issued identification on the right is included to verify the identity of the applicants. We want to ensure this is the person who they indicated they are. On the next page, you see that in section 4, it's to section 4 of the enrollment form. The first term acknowledges the applicant, the application will not enter the gaming area or of a gaming establishment or any area at the pari-mutuel or simulcast wagerings are placed. And or, but this one here, like I mentioned, is for both. This one will stipulate and sports wagering area or sports wagering facility or engage in sports wagering for sports wagering VSE. So here we combine both, but if you select one, the terms will spell that out. The next term is acknowledgement of understanding by the applicant that placing their name on the VSE list apply to all gaming establishments and or sports wagering operators. So it's not just one, but all of the Massachusetts operators. The next term is acknowledgement that the patron or the applicant will be included on a no marketing list maintained by the Massachusetts licensed operators. this is a way where we stipulate that to the operators that they must not market to these folks on the VSE. So this is just an acknowledgement to the applicant that they're aware by enrolling into the VSE, they will be on this list. The next two items is a declaration that the applicant application is completed voluntarily. It's on their own free will, free from outside influences, and the applicant is not presently under the influence of drugs or alcohol, or suffering from mental health condition that impairs their ability to make informed decision. This is outlined in sections 3.10 and 3.11 of the regulations. The next items is both in the statute and the regulation. This one here is acknowledgement that the applicant identify as either a problem gambler, feel that their gambling behavior is currently causing problems in their life, or may, without intervention, cause problems in their lives, or for any other reasons they wish to put their name on the list. After that, the next items, the applicant acknowledges they will be refused entry and or ejected from the gaming and or sports wagering area by licensee, agent of the commission, or law enforcement personnel. The next two items, acknowledgement by the applicant that they will not collect any winnings or recover any losses and forfeit all winnings, all rewards or points, which is outlined in sections 4.6 and 4.7 of the regulations. The last term on this page is an agreement that the applicant will refrain from entering the gaming area and sports wagering area. If they do enter the areas, the applicant shall notify the commissions of the violation within 24 hours. So this is an agreement that they're acknowledging that this is their responsibility and on the VSE list. And if they do show up on the gaming floor, they just notify us. The next page, this term, the very top, this term acknowledges that this agreement releases the Commonwealth, the Commission, the licensee, and all affiliate employees from any claims associated with the applicant's breach of the agreement. The next two terms inform the patrons that they will remain on the list after the expiration of the selected duration until they submit a petition for removal by completing a reinstatement session. Information on how to schedule a reinstatement session is also provided, so for the patron to contact. Section 6.5 of the regulations outline that licensee shall deny access to complimentary services or items, check cashing privileges, clear reward programs, and other benefits to individuals on the VSE list. So in the next two terms, the applicant acknowledges that during the exclusion, these privileges will be suspended. The next item, the next term, we offer applicants a reminder as they approach their term completion of their term to be eligible to participate in a reinstatement session. The applicant has an option to be reminded via post mail and or email, or they can opt out and not to receive a reminder at all. Finally, the last term is the acknowledgement of the duration that they're requesting to enroll. This term is at the end to ensure that after explaining all the terms and conditions of the VSP program, the patron acknowledges the terms are irrevocable. So this one is, it's really a check and balance. So initially at the top, we ask them to select, and here they have to match that term. Because if they do change, we want to ensure that both fields are updated. So I'm going to go to section 5 of the VSE enrollment. So here we're moving to the release of information. And so this is more for administrative and maintaining the VSE list. So the next couple of terms really discusses that the commission may de-identify or anonymize information for the purpose of evaluating the effectiveness and proper administration of the VSE process. If the applicants are interested, a peer, someone with lived experience, can follow up with the applicant for additional services. The final two items certify that they are offered a copy of the completed VSE enrollment, and they are offered information about the program gambling resources and treatment providers. The Massachusetts helpline information is also provided, so if they do need resources future, they have ways of contacting. Section 6 is acknowledgement that the applicant certified they agree to the terms, and here we actually included a box to certify that all the section above has been initialed. So just to reaffirm that, they went through and understood the terms before signing the terms. Finally, section 7. This is only applicable if the interpreter services are utilized during the VSE enrollment, because we understand if a language is a barrier, there should be not a barrier. So we offer interpreter services as needed. If there were services rendered, we ask that this be completed. Any questions before I sort of dive in? So that, that roughly took about 8 minutes of it, running through sort of terms. So we, like mentioned here, we do offer the telephone recovery support and other resources, but importantly, the length of time to complete within the last couple of months, we sort of recorded and sort of gotten an average. The in-person enrollment process, on average, it took about 23 minutes, ranging from 10 to 50 minutes. And then with a remote session, the average is about 28 minutes, ranging from 10 to 82, which sort of falls in line. It took me about 8 minutes just to run through. But, like Director Vanderlinden mentioned, this is really sort of centered around the needs of the applicant to ensure that, their needs are met and any support they need. So it's taking the time and sort of rendering, what other support might be needed. With that, I'm going to transition to the reinstatement session. So it's important to note that the reinstatement session is really a brief educational session at the end. As the Director Vanderlinden mentioned, an applicant is the patron is making a tough decision to return back to the gaming floor or sports wagering. We sort of want that dialogue, that conversation, and to ensure that any support, any resources might be provided for them to safely return back to gaming. This can be done both in person and or remotely. In person, they can go to any of the Game Sense Information Center, or remotely through live chat, initiated through live chat or the GAM line. While it doesn't follow a script, several topics may be covered, including safer gambling tips, risk of gambling, and referrals for additional help. The other items is also the peer support that was offered. The enrollment is also offered here as well. So telephone recovery support or follow-up is also offered to the individual. Finally, the rough, sort of estimate of time to complete reinstatement. So in person is roughly about 13 minutes, ranging from 5 minutes to 34 minutes. A remote session is average about 17, ranging from 6 to 40 minutes. And now I'm going to go to my beautiful graph. So this one here shows you the whole enrollment from the beginning in June 2015. So here you can see that the enrollment has increased. As of September 12th, we have a total of 937 individual completed reinstatements and about 2,472 who are actively on the VSE list. And you can see the breakdown of the VSE enrollment. Gaming only is about 1547. Gaming and sports wagering is about 757, and sports wagering only is about 168. So it kind of gives you a rough estimate of how people are enrolling. And to be fair, gaming only is much higher because it's been around longer, but you see that the other two are catching up quite quickly. And then the last information is just more about the location. It's important to note that the very last item, the unknown, previous iteration of the VSE form, we didn't capture the location of the VSE enrollment. So therefore, a lot of these items, the 630, falls within that group where we did not capture the location. And the next slide. So the VSE violations, before I start, I want to acknowledge Natalia, who presented earlier, for presenting this data. Thank you, Natalia. This has been very, very helpful. So here it really shows within the last 3 years of the active VSE enrollees who were found on the gaming floor, a total of about 484. The second table shows that out of the 484, about 19% were eligible for reinstatement. So about 91 out of 484 who were on the gaming floor were eligible and did not reinstate. And then this, important to note that this data actually goes all the way through September 19. So 2025, we're not in a complete calendar year. It just goes up to December 12. Okay. With that, I will turn it back to Director Vanderlinden.
All right. Thanks, Lon. Just to highlight one piece, it goes back to this idea that it's an engaged approach. And when you take a look at the wide range of time that it can take to complete an enrollment or complete a reinstatement session, it really does center on sort of meeting people where they're at. If they want it to be quick, it can be relatively quick. Certainly there are terms and conditions that people need to understand that they're agreeing to. If it's more of a conversation about their gambling and how it's affecting their lives and what to do once they leave the casino or enroll in the voluntary self-exclusion program and can't place that wager, those are absolutely conversations that the designated agents, our GameSense advisors, are able to have with people. Research and our responsible gaming since the beginning have kind of gone hand in hand. I think any responsible gaming initiative carried out by the commission should be evaluated and evaluated periodically. And this is evidence of that. So we actually initiated an evaluation of the voluntary self-exclusion program the day that Plain Ridge Park Casino opened up in June of 2015. During that evaluation, there were a few things that we really wanted to pay attention to. You know, did people feel like they were cared for when they were enrolling in this program? How did the enrolling in the program affect both their general health and mental health, as well as specifically their gambling program? And what are ways that we can improve this program moving forward, considering that at the time of this evaluation, it was a very new program. So in terms of how are we doing in our approach, a vast majority of individuals felt that the Massachusetts way of enrolling was superior to other processes that perhaps they had engaged in other jurisdictions, enrollment into voluntary self-exclusion program in other jurisdictions. You know, while most people, 70%, continued to gamble, 80% of them reported that they were gambling less. Not included in the slide, but what I thought was really interesting is that individuals that indicated that they were really interested in abstinence at the point that they enrolled in the program didn't actually have as good of outcomes as individuals that indicated that their goal was actually controlled gambling. And I think that that's something that's worth noting and worth following up on in future evaluations. And finally, that there were statistically significant improvements, both in terms of gambling related problems, mental health, and relationship quality. You'll see that we asked enrollees how we could possibly improve the program, and that included follow-up and check-ins after the enrollment, better advertising, and setting up the program so that an individual doesn't have to enter the casino or being near the gaming floor to sign up. And each one of those recommendations in one way or another has been implemented. We are working now with GRIO Evidence Insights and the Division on Addiction Cambridge Health Alliance. And to note, the Division on Addiction Cambridge Health Alliance conducted the first evaluation of the program, so there's going to be some advantage of carrying some of that knowledge forward into the present evaluation several years later. There's a number of different aims. I won't read through each of these slides, but really we want to assess the current state of the program and being able to compare it to the program from the beginning. We want to examine perspectives and experiences of past and present enrollees, again, carrying forward people's impressions and how the program is working or is not working at helping them to control their gambling or prevent them from gambling. And finally, exploring potential barriers to VSE program participation, looking for ways that we can reduce barriers and improve access to the program. So that is the voluntary self-exclusion program update and overview. Turning it over for questions, I guess.
Well, I'm going to back it up to the first half on enrollment, not on coming off. Just want to be clear with the public and give you an opportunity to speak briefly about the fact that you do have to sign up separately for sports wagering than you do the brick and mortar.
But yes, that is so a couple of things. You can sign up just for gaming establishments, casinos in Massachusetts. You can sign up just for sports wagering in Massachusetts. In order to streamline it, though, we do have a combined enrollment form, and it's that combined enrollment form that Long just walked you through. The terms and conditions are slightly different if you were to just sign up for casino or just sign up for sports wagering.
Chair, can I jump in? Yes, you're absolutely correct. Because the gaming VSC came when we expanded the Gaming Act, and that was included in the statute. When the sports wagering was approved in the statute, it also stipulated for sports wagering. Hence, we have to separate the two because they're very different form of entertainment. So we offered the sports wagering when sports wagering became a statute and we were promulgating. That was roughly about January 2023. And that's when we started offering because it became live. So they are two different lists, but we did simplify it and have a combined form for folks who, because we don't want to be a barrier to have two different enrollments. So we combined the two, so just sort of streamlined that process for folks who are interested.
But to be clear, also, individuals that signed up for the voluntary self-exclusion program for gaming establishments prior to the launch of sports wagering, the terms of that exclusion only apply to casinos or gaming establishments in Massachusetts and not to sports wagering operations in Massachusetts. Unless they came forward later and said, I would like to extend my voluntary self-exclusion to sports wagering, at which time we would be happy to and have enrolled people into the sports wagering voluntary self-exclusion program as well.
Makes total sense. And the only reason I wanted to put a highlighter on that one is it is a question I get out in the public from time to time. So I thought that would be helpful. All right, commissioners, any questions, comments on the VSC program, either enrolling or coming off of it? Commissioner Broder.
Mr. Chairman, at the risk of launching a long conversation, it's not my intent. So I'm just going to mention this and suggest that what's that?
No pun intended. A long conversation with Lon.
Indeed. But what strikes me about this is, and some of our experiences in terms of our appeals work are disputes around folks that have entered into the program, and I'm focusing on brick and mortar casinos, having gone back to the casino, played, in particular, maybe hit a jackpot, and at that point, they are flagged as folks that are in the VSC program. I can't get away from this idea of recognizing that there is some friction involved, that a lot of these problems go away if there is identification, mandatory ID process at point of entry onto the gaming floor. It stops people that are in the VSC from wagering, from getting access to the floor, from playing. It also would help screen out underage players. And I recognize, they don't do this in Las Vegas because that's a different environment. But I do recall being down in New Orleans for a Nickel G's meeting, and the casino that is downtown routinely checks ID through some kind of electronic scanning process every time you attempt to enter the floor. I would like us to take a good long look at that, recognizing that there's going to be pushback, because I do think that solves a lot of the problems that we confront in terms of this issue on a fairly regular basis. But not today.
Thank you, Commissioner Broder. Any other questions or comments? I'll start by, I know Director Van der Linden always wants the last word, so I'll give you the last word, Director Van der Linden. I will say thank you, Long, for all your work and your presentation, and thank you, Director Van der Linden. Mark?
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Long. This is a program that requires a lot of attention to detail, to make sure that we do it right and honor the wishes of people who enroll in this program. I worked for the Iowa Department of Public Health before coming to Massachusetts and oversaw the voluntary self-exclusion program there. I've looked at voluntary self-exclusion programs around the country. We said that, just to come back to this idea that it's an engaged approach, when somebody steps forward and acknowledges that it's time to enroll in this program, it's a window of opportunity to meet their needs in that point in time. And that window of opportunity should never be squandered. It should honor where they're at, the decision they're making, and take every step possible to make sure that that they're getting the help that they need and deserve. On the back end of it, the reinstatement session, I would say, is an equally important piece of this program. It's for the most part, not exclusively, individuals who are at incredibly high risk of experiencing gambling-related harms. It's a chance to have a very brief conversation with them about what they're about ready to engage in moving forward. And hopefully at that point in time, raise awareness about what the risks are and what it means to gamble safely. So again, thank you, Long. Thanks to the Commission for allowing us to highlight the program.
Thank you again, and thank you for administering the program. And we're lucky that the program exists in Massachusetts. I'll take this plug to say again that I'm hopeful that one day there will be a national VSE that will go across state borders and be able to help people as they move about, especially in New England, where our borders are, we're very geographically close to our sister states. So, all right. Anything else, Director Van der Linden?
That covers it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. With that, we're going to go to item number 8. Do we have any commissioner updates? Any other business we didn't anticipate? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Broder.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner O'Brien. Commissioner O'Brien.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Broder.
Yes.
And I vote yes, 4-0. Everyone stay dry out there.
Here, here.